Alright, so I have the molds pretty much ready. I'm going to do the first test of the LMP mold. I have the main body part, I have the wing at the back, and let's place this maybe over there in front, this over there, and then I have the two wing mounts which are symmetrical. Those are going to be moving all over the place. So two things. Usually the first time that I'm vacuum forming anything, it is a little bit typical that the first vacuum form, if it's a tricky form with a lot of angle that is prone to webbing, that the vacuum form doesn't go so well, that I get a bit of webbing. I guess it's because the first time around the plastic took a very long time to heat up. But we'll see if that's the case or not. Take a seat over there. I'm using 0.5 mm PETG, and I'm waiting for the temperature to go up to 150, and he's telling me slow heating. Why are you slow heating? I don't understand. Something went wrong. Okay, let's go again. We're at 124, so that's gonna go up pretty quickly now, I reckon. Hopefully. So I've done, I think, the best I could with the feeding filing the mold and sending the mold. I think is going to be pretty decent. I am still worried about this really narrow fin over there. The angle is pretty sufficient, I would say, for the vacuum form. I think it should release. The angle itself is large enough to release, but I do not know if the 3D print is going to be strong enough and it's not going to give. So this is a worry that I voiced already when I was making the model and printing the model and so on, but I'd rather see if it can work in one piece. It's better than to do a secondary piece for the back. If it breaks, then I'll have to rethink completely how I designed the mold for this. Alright, cheers everyone. Okay, so we are at 140 degrees. You see, when you're placing things on the vacuum form, you can place quite a lot of things on the bed. You just need to be mindful that you don't put too steep shapes next to each other, because the space in between those two shapes is going to be very prone to webbing. So the wing with the vertical side at the back, I put it in front of the slowest slope, and I put the vertical side facing the outside, and the body's vertical side is over there as well. So hopefully everything should work out fine. At least that's how I pretend. I want everything to go. Alright, time to vacuum. didn't vacuum enough around the wing over there. It did. The webbing at the back is not a big deal, no webbing around the wing, but there's a little bit of webbing around here. And the back over there, it had a very hard time pulling on it. So what I'm going to do for that is at this part of the mold, I'm going to punch a very tiny hole, about 1 mm hole on each side, in order to have vacuum around there. So I will do that and I'll come back for a second test. Alright, let me show you quickly how I'm going to punch the hole. So around this area I have very hard time, the vacuum have a very hard time going from this very steep angle and covering it over there. Do I have the form? Yes, let me show you what happened over here. You see, this just didn't have enough suction to push this all the way down. I believe these webbings will go away on the second time. Like I said before, the first time vacuuming around, usually I have these kind of issues, and then the plastic heats up quicker and I don't have it anymore. So let's do a little hole. Alright, I got fire. I'm just heating up a very tiny screwdriver until it's red hot, and then I'm going to punch 2 holes somewhere at the bottom, at the back. You see, I've punched 2 holes over there. I'm not going to bother cleaning them up right now. I'm just going to Vaquform and see what happens. So I'll show you the second time around how long it takes to Vaquform. So let's do that together. I'm going to get the piece of PETG, remove the overspray protection on one side, placing it in. I'm going to vacuum maybe just the body alone this time. The wings and the wing mount. See that came out pretty well. The wing is fine. Wing mounts are fine. I got 0 webbing around those, so this is not a problem. And while I'm waiting, let's just try to scratch away. I should try to remove them with a knife, the little flashing that I get from the plastic heating up around the holes. This way we won't have any big bubble looking parts at the back. And so trial and errors, like usually. Some bodies are really simple and no special surprise. Usually this type really there are a lot of areas that are going to be tricky. This kind of really deep grooves in the nose, in the front, those are going to be prone to problems. Those angles here might be, but that's not specifically, but here really you see the way the change of directions that you have with this kind of a flat plateau over here and this really steep wing thin in the middle here. This is going to be an issue. Usually very straight square angles like that are going to have webbing at the corners. It's, for what I do, is usually not a problem, because either this is a part that's going to be cut away, or if you actually file it once you cut the body, it's not visible anymore. But yeah, this body has really a lot of challenging shapes on it for the Vaquform, so it's going to be trial and error. So let's go again. We are at 130 degrees. We are going to see, I'm placing the mold pretty much perfect center, at least from where I'm sitting. That's what it looks to be, a perfect center. And we are at 133 on PETG degrees. We need to reach 150. We are on 0.5. I never play with the vacuum value. I might have to. I just try to be able to set up as simply as possible so every mold just can come out with the same setup on the machine. That's what I'm trying to do, so I don't need to save a setting in on a piece of paper for every time I have a mold. So here we are at 144, and time to see if the little holes that I've punched at the back make a difference. So here we go, 48, 49, countdown. Let's do it. Now you see, now I still have the webbing, but the vacuum activated really all the way. So I still have the webbing here actually, and I have some webbing in the corner over there. So I might try to change the position of the body this way instead of like that. But so while I'm letting this cool down, I'm going to place a new piece and I'm going to try to vacuum it. Instead of in length, I'll put it centered, facing me, nose facing me. Alright, so let's go again. And while we're doing that, let's have a look at how hard or easy it is to unmold this puppy. So, still hot, not ideal because this is still quite brittle. I can feel that I have a lot of vacuum around the edge at the back, so I might have maybe a bit tight, but I have the frame I have needs replacement, so that might be one of the issue I have as well, why I'm getting so much webbing. Anyway, giving a little push. Alright, perfect. So you see the fin is not breaking, it's coming out really easily. Now I gotta figure out how to get rid of the webbing that I have. So each corner really has webbing, so this is not great. I'm gonna have to figure out a way. So this time I'm going to put my mold, ouch, static electricity on the bed. Doesn't matter you're wearing gloves or not, you're gonna get shot. So I'm gonna place it this way. This is the way I'm placing the mold when I do the Formula E. So we will see if this does the trick or not. In the meantime, let me see if I can get you a bit of a close-up for the next run. How's that? New angle. Better? Not better? I'll let you decide. I have a little time to switch. Alright. Let's see. You'll have a pretty close view of the next Vaquform. I'm at 148, so that's time to Vaquform. Alright, let's do it. I have less webbing. I still have a little bit here. The back of the wing, I think this is going to be unavoidable. This one, I think it's a fluke. This is probably not going to appear in the future, but this is not bad. I think I'm pretty happy with that. The flash, the webbing around the fin at the back, I don't think that's a big deal actually. The way it is, I'm not really pleased with it, but I don't think this is a really big deal. But I still have to figure out, you see, here and here. Can you see on the camera? Turn around, my friend. Yes. Here I still have a little bit of webbing. And here at the back I have a tiny bit, so that's not great. I would say maybe give it one more try and then we'll call it a day until I figure out what to do about it. So I'll be back with the last one. Alright, see. Okay, last tests for now. And let's see how it goes. If I still have the webbing issue in the front here, I'm gonna have to see, is it a matter of frame or not, because I've just vacuumed the MK1 Golf Buddy and it went out without any issue, but except with a little webbing at the back here, which is this back corner. So I feel maybe my frame that is broken has an issue. Let's see, let's test. Ah, it's the same. It is the same. I got webbing here. I really don't know why. I do have webbing here and nuts on the other side. This is hard to understand why. Let me try. Okay, I said that was the last time, but I'm not giving up that easily. I'm gonna try to punch a few more holes into the shape, into the mold. First of all, that comes out excellent. Those, no problem. Still have the webbing here. Since I punched the hole, so you see before it couldn't vacuum, and now it's vacuuming here, no problem, but it leaves me with the excess material, and that creates the webbing here. However, here I don't see why it would not do it anywhere, but it would do it here. So I think I'm going to punch a couple of holes on each side here in order to have a bit more vacuum, as well as here. I do not have good suction. You see that the shape is actually kind of soft when the angle is a 90-degree angle over there. Surprisingly, this is causing me no problem. So I'm gonna punch a couple of holes, same method as usually, flamethrower and tiny sticky stick, and I'll be back with another try.